during an insanely contentious conversation with Meet the Press's Face the Nation's Margaret Brennan, South Dakota Governor Kristi Noem, who is on Trump's short list for VP picks, decided to double down on her decision to kill a 14-month-old puppy. Here she is defending herself yet again.
You put it in a part of a chapter called Bad Day to Be a Goat. And then after you shot the dog, you, quote, realized another unpleasant job needed to be done. Walking back up to the yard, I spotted our billy goat. You said he smelled and would chase kids, so you took him to the gravel pit and shot him twice. How do you justify that? How was the goat a threat? And I'm asking you this because it seems like you're celebrating the killing of the animals.
Not at all. This has been a story that my political opponents have tried to use against me for years. It's well known in South Dakota, and it has been to other people.
You published it in your book. You talked about killing a goat because it was smelly. This is not an attack by the media or your political opponents. You published it in your book. Oh my God, it's like the most insane thing. Okay. It's insane.
No, that was one of the greatest questions a reporter's ever asked a politician. How is the goat a threat?
Oh my
God. I was waiting for her to ask, are there any animals you haven't murdered? Okay, but as I said on Friday's show, guys, this shows Kristi Noem what she thinks of Republican voters.
I know.
She thinks if I tell them I murder random animals, including puppies, they'll like me more.
No, she does.
That's the only reason to put it in the book.
No, she totally does think that. Like, okay, so there was some follow-up reporting to all of this in regard to Kristi Noem's first book. And apparently she wanted to include these anecdotes in her first book, but her publisher, which was a different publisher, convinced her not to. They talked her out of it because it would be a complete and utter disaster. And the reason why she wanted it published in her first book is because she felt that it communicated to Republican voters that she's a tough woman, decisive woman. She knows how to make the tough decisions, like killing the smelly goat on her farm. Okay.
Look, this is turning into Campaign, the Will Ferrell, Zach Galifianakis movie. Like, she's gonna punch a baby next. She's gonna be like, oh, so now you guys just want to talk about me punching a baby? You put it in the book.
Yeah,
right?
But she was decisive. She was decisive in making that tough decision to punch said baby.
Just to be clear, she hasn't punched a baby yet. So I was walking by a little kid and I said, and I punted it into the other state. Ha ha, Republicans are more vicious than anyone else. Pausing here to deliver some honest truth as we do in our news coverage as well. TYT is facing challenges, guys, as the entire industry is. You know who could make the difference? You. If you hit the join button below, it's gonna make all the difference and keep us in business. We appreciate you, thank you. And look, hey, credit to the Republican voters because there's not a huge, Kristi Noem wave now. Like it didn't.
Republicans love animals too.
I guess.
They do, yeah.
So I guess Kristi Noem was wrong that Republicans don't like to kill puppies.
I mean, what a cartoon. Like later in the conversation with Margaret Brennan, she decides to volunteer other animals that should be executed. Let's watch.
Because you have been rumored to be a potential vice presidential candidate, as you know. And former House Speaker Newt Gingrich said, killing the dog and then writing about it ended any possibility of her being picked as VP. You talk multiple times about it. In fact, at the end of the book, you say the very first thing you would do if you got to the White House that was different from Joe Biden is you'd make sure Joe Biden's dog was nowhere on the grounds. Commander, say hello to Cricket. Are you doing this to try to look tough? Do you still think that you have a shot at being a VP?
Well, number one, Joe Biden's dog has attacked 24 Secret Service people. So how many people is enough people to be attacked and dangerously hurt before you make a decision on a dog and what to do with it?
Well, he's not living at the White House
That's
anymore.
a question that the president should be held accountable to.
Stop talking about killing and executing animals, just stop. But she can't, like she's dug that hole and she's like, you know what? I kind of like digging, I'm gonna keep doing it.
Well, she dug the hole that she killed the puppy in. Okay, like she literally put it in a ditch before she shot it to death. Now, by the way, did you notice her book is called No Going Back? Well, That's the one thing that's kind of accurate. Because after that killing puppy story, there's no going back to trying to be VP. Apparently, even Trump, a well-known sociopath, is disgusted by that story.
Well, okay, so there are mixed reports about how this has impacted Donald Trump's thinking about Kristi Noem as a potential VP pick. So I want to start off with what Rolling Stone had reported. So they claim that during conversations with close political allies and other confidants, sources say the former president, Donald Trump, has repeatedly brought up the puppy incident, including as recently as in the past couple of days, to criticize Noem and question her political acumen. The reporting is, by the way, based on 4 sources who are familiar with the matter and another 2 people briefed on it. Now, the sources who are not named are really important because, Cenk, they actually have a bias against Kristi Noem, and they make that clear. Apparently, these sources who spoke to Rolling Stone, at least some of them, claim that they don't favor Kristi Noem as a VP pick because she's been advised by Corey Lewandowski, who they absolutely hate. So I think that the motivations of these sources is super relevant, and they could very well just make up that Trump has soured on her.
Yeah, that's a great point and a good caveat to what I said. Also, Trump doesn't like dogs, so who knows if she put the story in the book just to appeal to Trump, who's known for not liking dogs.
And also, let's go to another excerpt from that Rolling Stone piece. Some separately said they were discussing this simply because Trump had been talking about Noem's puppy slaying so frequently that it was, in the words of one of the sources, getting kind of ridiculous how disgusted the former president sounded about this and how much he had been taunting Noem behind her back. I don't believe that at all. I personally do not believe that Donald Trump would sit around stewing in disgust over Kristi Noem killing a 14-month-old puppy 10 years ago.
Let me give you a super quick tangent on rumors that might be relevant here, because Trump used to love Lewandowski because Lewandowski had no boundaries and he would actually physically push people. He was super aggressive in a way that Donald Trump enjoyed. But there were rumors that he hooked up with Hope Hicks, who Donald Trump was secretly in love with. And so then he hated Lewandowski and fired him. And then Lewandowski started hooking up with Kristi Noem and traveling the country with her. And so that's why some of the people who hate Lewandowski within Trump's circles might be pressing on that wound. So now I give you all that as reported rumors in the press. None of that has been firmly confirmed, but they're significant enough that the press reported it.
One final thing that I'll note, I had mentioned that there's conflicting reports in regard to how Trump is kind of viewing all of this. Well, we gave you the Rolling Stone excerpts. We should also talk about what Axios and Insider are reporting, because they're reporting direct quotes from Donald Trump over the weekend during one of his fundraisers. And apparently leaked audio indicates that Trump said of Noem, that it's someone that I love, Trump said of Noem. She's been with me, a supporter of mine, and I've been a supporter of hers for a long time. Again, direct quote from Trump over the weekend. And just a few days prior to that, again, reports did indicate that Trump was disgusted, but that was by the unnamed sources who don't like Kristi Noem because of her relationship to Corey Lewandowski. So, look, honestly, if I were to decide whether Trump is soured on her or not, I would simply say, I don't know. We don't know. And we can only really base it based on what Trump said over the weekend through his own words, which is, I love Kristi Noem. But Kristi Noem is a little more charismatic than Trump would like for a VP pick. So
on the other hand, he loves attractive women.
He does, he does.
So,
but he doesn't like to be outshined, outshone.
No one knows who he's gonna pick, but the fact that she hasn't necessarily been eliminated gives you all you need to know about Donald Trump.
Yeah.
Because if somebody was gonna be my VP pick and they bragged about murdering animals, including puppies, I would question their mental health, let alone whether I'd pick them as VP.
Just their political instincts.
Let alone their political instincts. But I wouldn't want a sociopath who murders puppies because they are a slight inconvenience and brags about it. But apparently that has not disqualified her yet. Thanks for watching The Young Turks, really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.